Yes. All right, good afternoon, everyone. We're going to get started. I need everyone to listen here for a second. I need you to take your earbuds out and your headphones off. And our speaker today would prefer that we don't take notes, but you will need a pen when she gives you a little evaluation, so you can have that out. Make sure your phones are put away. All right, looks like we're ready to get started. So, our topic today is mission, core values, and human dignity. And today with us we have the Director of Campus Ministry, which is Diane Vadney. Please join me in welcoming Diane.
All right, how's everybody doing Monday? Good? I feel like you are welcome to take notes if that helps you stay awake, if that helps you stay focused. I'm not going to stop you. I just didn't want you to feel like you had to. My style of teaching generally has a lot more to do with if you're staying engaged and listening, and then you take it in and you think about it and you integrate that into yourself, and then you get to live it. That's the area that I cover, so that works out well for me. And in addition to what she's already said, I just wanted to, this is like the best picture I could find of my whole family, guys. This, to me, says I need to take more pictures of my whole family. So my name's Diane Vadney. I'm the Director of Campus Ministry. I've got a Bachelor's of Science in Biology, so that was my first love. And then I stumbled into ministry, so then I got my Master's in Theological Studies after that. I've been married for 20 years. I'm a mom of 6 kids. They're ages 18 to 5, so my oldest is the same age as a lot of you guys are. She's a freshman in college, and I live in Manitowoc. So the only picture I could find in the last year is this one. It's not great. It's from Christmas. We have 2 little kids. Charlotte's in my arms and Michael's down below, and they are like wild animals that don't want to be corralled. So it doesn't leave us many opportunities for a good family picture. My parents are in the picture. They are a big part of my life. They're a big part of our family life since they help out a ton with our children, especially after school, so that I can work here, which is awesome. And they are who I learned a lot of my core values from. And then that when you go to an institution, wherever you work someday, you'll find that institutions tend to have their own core values. And a lot of times they'll easily resonate with you and what you stand for, and kind of like what comes naturally to you. And sometimes it'll be a new set of values that you haven't thought much about. So I thought it was kind of appropriate that they were in the picture. All right, so the first thing I want to do is if you guys could send somebody down from each section just to grab. This is not a quiz of like, do you know the core values? I feel like you guys, let's not beat a dead horse today. I'm not going to go over core values insofar as like presenting them as if they're brand new to you. But what I would like to do is just everybody send one person down. These are not divided up exactly, so if you don't have enough, get some from a buddy in another section. Here you go. Everybody should get one. The directions are very simple. Fill it out. Get your pens and pencils out. There you go. So the idea with this is it's a simple 5 questions, and what you're looking for, you're going to write 1 through 5 under each question, okay? So you're using 1 through 5 under every question. Oh, all right, so I didn't count right. So all your extras have to go to this fine gentleman right here. All right, there you go. All right, whoever's got extra is going to have to share, all right? They're dying to get this quiz. They want to know what core values resonate with them. Don't keep them waiting. All right, so under each question, use 1 through 5. 5 means like this is the one that jumps out the most to me, like this comes most naturally, or I like it the most. And then go all the way down the line. 4 would be the next one, and 1 would be the one that you don't resonate with. It doesn't. Can you pass those around? Just pass them on down the line. Make sure everybody gets one. And And if you have extras, we need them somewhere else. So just, which group still needs some? Do you guys all have them? Do you guys have enough in the back? Okay. And there's enough that actually there you go. All the adults can have one too. Can I just get two?
Grab a couple.
You need a couple more.
I think so.
All right, and if you already finished, what you're going to do is count up, just write the letter A, and then add up all your A's and what the point level would be. So if you have a 5, a 3, a 4, just add those numbers up. Each question, whatever you put for A, just add those numbers up, and that's going to be your A total. And then do the same for B, C, D, and E. Simple math, though. Neighbors can help neighbors. We'll work on it together. Does everybody now have, raise your hand if you still don't have one. Raise your hand back there. Thank you. Oh, and a couple over here, if possible. Does anybody else have extras that we can get over here? The two guys with the laptops are very studiously taking notes here. They need some. These guys over here. Thank you. They can't wait to hear more about core values, mission, and the dignity of the human person. So just start with the question, read it, and then 5 is the highest point total. That's like the one that resonates the most with you, that you can relate to, down to 1, which is the one that you would like least. And do it for each of the categories. Are you okay? Are you okay? Do you understand it? Okay. Yep. Yep. So for adding them up, just on the top of your paper, write the letter A equals, and then add up under each question what the score was next to the letter A. So if under number 1 you had a 5, and under number 2 you had a 4, all the way down you add up 5 plus 4 is 9, and then plus whatever you had under the other ones. So it's a point total per letter. I think the strongest one. Did you do it the opposite? It doesn't matter. You can still add them up and then just reverse it.
Okay.
You know what I mean? So your lowest point total will be your strongest one. Looks like a lot of you guys are doing the math right now, so we're just a couple more minutes. All right, it looks like a lot of you guys are done. Maybe some of you guys are still finishing up. That's fine. All right, are we pretty much ready? You guys can keep working on the math if you're still working on it, okay? So I believe that you guys could totally tell us what the 5 core values of our university are. I'm thinking you guys know this. You've heard it a couple of times, right? Yes, you are nodding your head. What's one of the 5 core values? Take any guess. Friends can help him. Help him out. Throw him a bone. Learning? Learning is one of them, absolutely. All right, now everybody's going to be afraid to make eye contact, but I like it. You did a great job. Yep, what's another one? What is it? Faith. Yep, and we call it spiritual tradition. So even though this is a Catholic university, it's very important to the sisters who founded the university that each individual can be respected for whatever path they're on to find truth, okay? So we have, at the core of our institution, a great respect for whichever faith tradition somebody is pursuing, okay? So faith is very important. What else? Social justice, excellent. And you jumped in there? Community, and we're missing one. Service, good job. All right, so when an institution chooses its core values, usually the reason they choose them is because it's what they feel guides the whole thing, right? So if you think about, like somebody was talking, we were at a mission meeting, and we were talking about what's the purpose of the mission of the institution, why and how do we need to bring this forward. And to me, it has always seemed like the mission of an institution is kind of like the torch that keeps burning, okay? And it provides light to the rest of the situation. And so if you're in total darkness, the light is going to be what helps guide the way, okay? So if you think of it in more modern terms, a great example would be a lighthouse. It's kind of the beacon of light when people aren't sure where they're supposed to be going, and it guides them and keeps them on course, okay? So mission is really a lot about shedding light and guiding everything else that happens. So at a university, there's a million things that happen. You guys have to have your classes scheduled, you have to have your classes taught, you have to have them graded, you guys have to have a place to live. There's a million to-dos on a campus. But what is the overarching thing that guides all of it? And it should color all of it. So that's like mission. And the mission is greatly affected by the values an institution identifies as its core values. So you guys were very smart and you named all of them. And what I think is interesting about core values is a lot of times people will talk about them and it feels like people are talking at you. And it doesn't feel like you had much choice in the matter. It feels like they picked the core values and I'm here to try to get an education. What does it matter to me? And I would just put it out there for you to think about it in these terms. When you go through life, everywhere you go, every job you get, every circle of friends you're a part of, every human exchange that you have is going to be in some way an exchange of values. And it's going to be the opportunity to be affected by somebody else. For the better, maybe it's neutral, maybe it's not for the better. Okay? And so when you participate at the level of a core value, you're participating in an invitation of something we hope speaks to you already. And if it doesn't already speak to you, we're hoping that it's something that will grab you and your attention and hopefully inspire you to raise yourself to the next level, okay? So maybe on your quizzes, you might have scored extremely strongly in some things. So if you, like the A's, by the way, let's just go through this real quick. For example, the first question says, you'd be most likely to find me if you answered a 5 to A, helping a friend with something they really needed help with. What core value do you suppose that's going to be? Service, right. Okay, and so if you scored strongly in the A category, looking over your letters, then you scored strongly in service. You're somebody who's already tuned in to helping other people. All right, so let's go on to B. You'd most likely find me hanging out with people I know and bonding with them. So that's what? What's the core value there? This row. What's the core value if you're hanging out with people and bonding? Community. So if you scored high in the B department, then community is something that comes naturally to you, or it's something that you value already. Or maybe it's something that you desire and you want more of. Okay, so if you scored in C's, the C's would be an example of, you'd be most likely to find me participating in a rally for a cause I find important. Yep, social justice, right? Okay, so the C's would be for social justice. And then if you did D's, attending a faith-related group, meeting, or service, that would be, yep, spiritual tradition. Somebody wants this thing to just keep moving. Thank you, we appreciate that. And then if you gravitated toward the E department, watching a YouTube video about a topic you're interested in, that would be an example of what core value? Thank you. All right, learning. So what I'd like you to do is, as a group in your sections, talk a little bit about, like, did everybody have the same core values as, like, the ones that were most prominent, so that you scored highest in, okay? And were you surprised? So kind of get a sense of, like, you know, what did everybody score high in? Maybe just go around and share that. And then answer the question of, is this what you would have predicted, or were you surprised? Okay, so just go in your groups and talk a little bit about how you guys scored, and talk about, were you surprised, or is it what you expected? I don't know, how do you guys normally do this? Do you do it as a whole group sometimes? Is there a way to do that or not? Yeah, so if you guys can kind of come around, like the three of you guys. Are they part of you or not? Okay. All right. So what did you guys have as, like, what would you say is, like, your strongest one? Good. Were you surprised? Okay. What was your least one? And are you surprised? Okay. Fair. So what about you?
Service.
Okay. How many people had service as their strongest one? Okay. What did you guys have as your strongest? Community. How many people had community as their strongest? Were you guys surprised by that, or is that pretty predictable for you guys? Okay. How about you guys? What'd you have? What'd you have? Service. Okay, so more service. Okay. How many people had social justice as their top one? Anybody? Way to go. All right. And were you guys surprised, or does that pretty much resonate with? Good. And how about you? Social justice or service? Great. Awesome. And you guys? Learning? Perfect. Nice. All right. And what about you guys? What'd you say? Awesome. And is that something that you would have predicted going into it? Yep. Cool. All right. And what about you? Learning. All right. Were you guys, would you say you were surprised by what you scored lowest in? Okay. And would you guys say, out of the ones that you had, were you surprised by what you scored lowest in? Okay. In looking at your stuff, is there one that stands out to you as one that you wouldn't mind it being higher? Wouldn't mind getting more engaged? How about yours? He's totally satisfied. Good. Good. And do you feel like, you're first year, right? So do you feel like coming here, you're the person you want to be, you just need the degree? I got to get on with my life here. That's fair. That's fair. Sometimes that's how people feel. He wore those yesterday, that same exact pair of sunglasses. He wore it yesterday. No, I was making a joke because you talked about his outfit. So I was just, because he had his sunglasses on yesterday. All right, so what I'd like to have you guys do is have somebody be a spokesperson for your group and kind of get a consensus of what was the most common strength found in your group. So who's going to volunteer to be the point person in this group? Okay, all right, so find out from everybody what was the most common strength in your group. So get a tally, find a tally. So everybody should have one spokesperson, and we're going to have them report to the whole room. All right, who's the spokesperson for this group? You? All right, so you need a tally of what was the most common strength. You've already got it? Oh, good. What is it? What is it? What was the strength that was most common? Community? And how many people had it? Every single person? Raise your hand if you had community as your top strength in this area. Raise your hand if community was your top strength. Oh, no, it has to be like the whole section. Yes, yes. All right, so get a tally on your whole section. So raise your hand if you guys had. All right, we're just going to throw a bone out to the people that are trying to tally this up. Somebody in your section is going to keep track. I'm going to say a core value. You just raise your hand and let somebody count you. All right, so if community was your top value, raise your hand so your person in your section can count you. Community, raise your hand. Be counted. Does every section have a note taker? It looks like it. All right, next one. If you had learning as your top, raise your hand and be counted. Learning is L. Or I'm sorry, hang on. E, I think it's E. E. Be counted if learning was your top one. Okay, service, if you guys scored highest in the A category, raise your hand and be counted if service letter A's were your highest category. Some people want to be counted twice. They've got both hands up. That's fine. Okay, and if you mostly had C's, that would be social justice. Raise your hand to be counted if that was your top one. Let your person count you. C's, social justice. Okay. D would be spiritual traditions. So raise your hand if D was your top one. All right. This doesn't have to be sewn up super tight. I'm just kind of looking for a general trend here. Okay, so this section, what was your top, what was the most common strength or the most common core value? Community. If your group's top thing was community, could your note taker raise their hand? Did anybody else have community? Okay, they had community. Did anybody have learning as their top most common? I mean, as a whole section, so the note taker. The whole section, learning, so 2 sections were learning. All right, what was your top one over here? Who's the service? Did anybody else have service? Okay. Did I miss anybody on reporting?
We had service, sorry.
Okay, fair enough. All right, so guys, I'm going to go through this, and I want to share with you guys just a review, but also, here's the thing. if somebody wanted to pour water, if you were thirsty and they wanted to pour water and share it with you and you had nothing but your hands to collect it, if you put your hand out like this, you're not going to collect any water. If you put your hand like this, you're going to catch a little bit and you can get a drink. If you put both hands out and you create a way of being receptive, you are going to get the most that you can get out of it. So when you're talking about something that affects you personally, when you leave here in 4 years or however many years it takes you to leave here, when you depart and you continue on with your life, you are changed by what you have agreed to accept and have that affect you, and then have that transform you into a better version of yourselves. So as we go through these core values, I want you to think about them in terms of like, how can I possibly look at, maybe I'm engaging in this more than I already realize it, I'm just not showing up to programs. And if you're not a programs kind of person, that's totally fine. That doesn't mean that you're not somebody who cares about social justice just because you're not at a rally, okay? So community, we call respecting our diversity as individuals, yet we encourage and challenge and nurture one another, joining together to accomplish our shared mission and vision. Okay, so community respects the fact that you're all different, and yet how can these different people help me grow? How can they challenge me in the way that I'm thinking? How can they offer to me something in the bonds of community that makes me a better version of myself? So possible ways to engage. Your first year, literally just show up to things. Just go to your floor meetings. Meet the people on your floor. If you cannot bring yourself to be in groups, then try to take advantage of one-on-one opportunities, but get to know people. How many people, just nod your head, you don't have to raise your hands, but like, do you find it difficult to meet people in person? Some people have no problem meeting people in person. Would you say that this is a thing though for maybe your friends, maybe other people in your generation have a hard time meeting people, new people? You guys are amazing. You're just meeting people left and right. That's good. All right, joining a club is another way to like meet people. How many people are in the ping pong club? Anybody? Rock on, people. It looks like it's a great time. Find something to do and just hang out with people. But introduce yourselves to people. And that includes create community with the people that are educating you. Introduce yourself to your professors. I would say, and professors can correct me on this, but it seems like making the effort to connect with your professors is one of the best things you can do when you're on a college campus. All right, so for learning, we engage in a collaborative, lifelong process of seeking truth and appropriating knowledge and values to transform the individual, our communities, and the world. So we're seeking truth, we're trying to integrate knowledge, okay? So the best way to do this, you guys, is to get your butts in the room when you are having class. Show up for your classes. Be there and be prepared and be listening. You will learn so much more when you are there in person. But look for and attend additional talks on campus if you want. Join a club, do independent reading, and also ask questions. If you guys don't need another thing to go to, but you want to increase your learning, the quickest and easiest way to do it is to ask questions when you're already there. You can ask it to your neighbor, you can ask it to the professor, but ask questions and confirm your learning. All right, service. Through active service and ministry, we support one another and seek to meet the needs of the larger community. So there's campus ministry does service events, Circle K does service events, your teams, if you're a sports team, they will do service, lots of service going on. Sign up for it and participate in it. There are so many ways to help people in our community. The warming shelter, I just got a call today, is going to be they're looking to hire people that can sit at the warming shelter and keep the desk occupied. So if you're somebody that's interested in helping that's a seasonal thing. There are people in our communities all over the country that do not have a place to go and be sheltered at night. And that's something that is eye-opening sometimes. Sometimes you already know that. Sometimes you just assume somebody else is going to take care of it. And at a certain point in the reality of life, those somebody else's run out. And sometimes it is our turn to be the person that meets the needs of somebody in our community. So sometimes if you find yourself with a lot of extra time, maybe it is your turn to engage in spending some of that free time to help other people in the community. And it can be whatever cause that you prefer. So if you would prefer to tutor a kid at an elementary school, there's so many opportunities for that. There are so many kids right now in foster care. Saturday mornings, if anybody's interested, they have a respite program at the Children's Museum where foster families, it can be stressful sometimes to have the addition of extra foster kids in the home. So they need a little break so they can be the best they can be for those children that need them. They have a respite program where the kids can be dropped off and they play with the people that take care of them on site. It's a very cool opportunity. So if you've got Saturday mornings free and you feel like, maybe I should help the world be a better place, that's an opportunity, okay? But service does not have to be something you sign up for. Service is a way of life. Service is a way that your character is defined. If somebody drops something, are you the kind of person that picks it up and hands it to them without thinking? If you're going about your day and you see somebody struggling with too much stuff in their hands, do you offer to carry it and help them to their car? These kinds of acts are what separate us sometimes from like the animal kingdom. And sometimes I think the animal kingdom is really good at this too. But you guys, people, we can raise our behavior to the next level. And this is what really I think sets humans apart though, is the ability to be kind, to be thoughtful, to read on the face of the other person what's going on. Something's going on, I don't know what it is, but like, I don't need to add to their world today, I can just help them out, okay? So service is a great way to grow as an individual, and you'll never be sorry for it. So this is a picture from our trip to Appalachia. Social justice is not only something that we rally for, but it's also something we commit ourselves to. And so social justice, one way of looking at it is there's the great variety of advantages and opportunities in our world. And not everybody is going to be given the same things. And so how can you help somebody who's short on something? And how can you bridge the gap? So we work to create individual and societal change which supports the value and the dignity and the opportunity of every person. We spoke in the title about the human dignity of every person. Our mission and our core values and everything that Marian stands for pivots on the fact that they believe that every single person matters and that every single person has the same, they deserve the same opportunity to flourish. I have sat through so many meetings here as a staff member where I've been thoroughly impressed with the ways they will bend over backwards and rack their brains trying to figure out how to help you guys. They are sincere in this, and I have worked in other places and they've done a nice job too, but it is really palpable here. They are definitely trying to figure out how to change the world through each of you guys. They want to help you guys be the best that you can be, and they want to inspire in each of you a desire to be that same inspiration to others, that same assisting hand to others. So this is not just something that they talk about, it's not just words. This is something that they really want to like live. And so if you come across a situation where somebody needs and their needs are not being met, speak to a staff person and let them know. And we will do everything we can to help out. So ways to engage with social justice as a core value. Again, you guys, the easiest one in all of these is like join a club, okay? There's so many ways, because joining a club in college is the quickest like warp zone way to get to all the people who have similar interests and want to do similar things, and then off you go and you just do them. And they give you funding for it. I mean, guys, these clubs are amazing. Just take advantage of them. But you can also, like when you're scrolling on your phone, instead of just like scrolling, which come on, it's fun, and all of us do it. But instead of spending as much time scrolling, stop and think through something that's bothering you, and instead just do a search and look for a reliable source and read a decent, substantial article. And like try to learn more than just whatever is coming across your feed. Okay, social justice, that can be one way that you engage with it. You can try to support the disadvantaged. You can participate in projects. You can participate in drives. You can participate in civic activities that are outside of the campus. A very practical thing, if you feel called to like go and help people, pick up a hammer and help build houses. This house in Appalachia that we worked on, the people built themselves in the 80s, and it did not have running water in it ever. It had no indoor plumbing, and now the people were at an age where hauling off up the hill to an outhouse wasn't as easy as it used to be for them. So we re-sided it because they said, see in the picture how the boards are separated and there's gaps in between them? This is a house they built on their own. They didn't have expertise necessarily. The cold winter air would come through the walls and freeze the 5-gallon bucket of water that they have next to their bed that they would use a ladle to drink with at night. And it would be ice. So for us to come in and help them, we re-sided the whole house so that in the summer, if they had an air conditioning unit, it would actually stay cold instead of just escape and go outside. And in the winter, it helped them actually stay warm. And I think sometimes we just don't realize that these are still issues that are around in this day and age, but they are. So it was eye-opening, it was heartwarming. The guy that was the homeowner has written 2 or 3 books, published 2 or 3 books about stories of growing up in Kentucky. He was extremely intelligent, extremely articulate. This is the way of life he had been shown, and this is the way he lived his life. But to have the assistance and to have the help to bring this to the next level for his family was a huge thing. And it was an incredible experience. So those kind of opportunities exist, and you guys can take advantage of that if you want. Spiritual traditions, we talked already about the fact that we value Marian's Catholic religious heritage, and yet we respect each individual's freedom to explore a diversity of spiritual beliefs. So here are some ways to engage, because I'm going to guess this one scored low for a lot of people, okay? So it doesn't have to be that you jump in the deep end of the pool, but there are some ways that you can start to interact in smaller ways that may fit into your lifestyle. I just want to clear the air. Mass is 5 p.m. on Sundays at Dorcas Chapel, and it's open to anybody. You don't have to be Catholic to come. And if you come, you know, and you want to go up for communion, there's like a whole thing that they go up and get a blessing, cross your arms. If you'd like to sit instead and you don't want to be like up there, you can sit instead. It doesn't matter. Or you can attend another type of service. Go with a friend to where their church is and see how they worship. You can be respectful and open to learning more about different people's religions. This is not a bad time in our world to learn what other religions are like so that we can increase our understanding and increase our chances of coexisting without violence. So meditating, reflecting, sometimes it's just nice to go for a walk and don't listen to music. Turn the music off. There's a whole line of studies that's done on noise and the fact that we don't give ourselves quiet anymore, and just room for our minds to wander and room for our minds to reflect. So you could do that. You could attend a Bible study if you want. Sign up for a retreat or the Seek conference, which last year we took some students to, and it was like 20,000 college students in like an enormous arena, and it was pretty awesome. So I wanted to give you a couple of heads up. So this week, we got school. Next week, you're on fall break. The week you come back is what we call Core Values Week at Marian. And so we try to do different special events that highlight and uplift each of the different core values. So on Sunday, I'm just inviting you all, if you have not been inside Dorcas Chapel, feel free to come to our 5 p.m. Mass. And if you're Catholic and you want to do one of the readings at some of our Masses, come and talk to me. If you want to be a greeter at the door, you don't have to be Catholic, you can be anything. And then we're going to go to Gillies afterwards. So we'll have limited spaces for that, but if you have your own transportation, then there is not a limit on that. On Monday, we're focusing on community. So we're going to have a Sabre coffee hour, 8 to 10, in Sabre Cafe, and President Sadoff said he's happy to be there, and we're going to have other members of the community there, and it's just kind of like an opportunity to socialize. So we're just identifying that block of time, Monday. Come on over, we're probably going to be having like a hot and cold coffee bar so that you can come in and enjoy a coffee, grab something on the way to class, and just enjoy being part of something bigger. You know, it's kind of cool. On Tuesday, we're celebrating spiritual traditions. So our very own Dr. John Hammond. Do any of you guys have him for class? Raise your hand if you have Dr. John Hammond. You guys, he's so great. You guys are very blessed to have him as an instructor. He's fun. He actually was with us on the trip to Appalachia, and he volunteered to share just a little bit of his own faith journey, his own faith story. And so Boston College used to do this series called Agape Latte, and we've been talking about starting that here as well as a way of getting to know our community better, as a way of sharing our faith stories with one another. So that should be taking place at 3 p.m. in Sabre Cafe. And Wednesday, we're going to be doing some learning about a clean water kickoff talk and also a Bible giveaway. So last year, we did the Bible giveaway, and then we started our Bible study that night. So look for information on that. The Clean Water Kickoff Talk, we're working on details for that right now, but we're trying to raise awareness of the importance of keeping water clean and also of giving clean water access to those around the world that don't have it. So we will have more information on that coming up. Thursday, we're social justice. Oh, you guys, this movie Cabrini. Raise your hand if you've already seen the movie Cabrini. Anybody? It's so good. It was so good. It came out last March during the International Month for Women. And it's the story of a young woman, Italian woman in the late 1800s who desperately wanted to serve the poor. And she was from Italy. She asked permission. She was denied permission to do what she wanted to do. They sent her to America, where she then worked in New York City in the absolute worst conditions, where people's parents of these new immigrant families were dying, and then orphans were left in the street, just trying to fend for themselves. So this movie tells the story of one unique individual who kind of made a dent in the needs of society. And we're bringing in a panel of sisters that sponsor the university who also have worked in very interesting ways with social justice. So we'll watch the movie. Dr. Farvour is kind of helping plan this out. So I'm thinking probably movie Wednesday sometime, maybe around 3, some snacks or something. And then if you want to come to the panel discussion, that'll probably be on Thursday. We'll keep you posted with details. And then Friday afternoon, we're going to offer service events. So you guys, don't leave us hanging. Come and sign up and do some service. We're going to be making dinner for the St. Catherine Drexel homeless shelter. So some of our students work there on a regular basis. And it's a transitional shelter for families without homes. And we have to make dinner for about 40 people. So we're going to do it in the yellow house on the quad, in the campus ministry house. If you want to be part of that, come on over. We'll also have different service opportunities in the neighborhood. So some will probably go to the nursing home. Some will probably do an outdoor project with the Prairie. So keep your eyes and ears open for that. So there you have it. All right, so this is our information. We're in the yellow house. It was a pleasure to be here, guys. All right. Go integrate those core values, people. Take it to the next level.
And it was beautiful. Really? That's amazing. It's just incredible.
They're about 30
Thank you. Remind me of your name. Grayson. All right, hope to see more of you.
I don't know about the service one because I switched things up and I probably throw it together.
That's awesome. Come on over. I think you're going to like the movie.
I do want to watch
The movie is amazing. Yeah. That's awesome. So we were supposed to get time in Naples, and so excited. And then like, we got on the slowest train in the whole world, and it ate up all our day. So we got down to Surrey.